Welcome to the future of gaming. I'm Invincible, and this is Playable Games Weekly. Playable Games is a community of gamers, node owners, and bull coin traders. We produce PC games that utilize blockchain technology, giving you complete control over your in-game assets. This week, I discussed all of the patch notes for the upcoming NEXUS 1.2 update. But first, let's catch up on the latest Playable Games news. They say April showers bring May flowers, and everything starts to get greener after Easter. And this week, I can confirm that in April, the world will be flooded with events to nurture our blossoming Playable Games community. The Bitcoin halving, our next coin listing, the next NEXUS update with ranked matchmaking, updated NEXUS security features, the next white paper edition and website update, paid advertising starts ramping up, the new weekly content starts being published, and our very first ever public event at a crypto conference. This month, you'll have to try and keep up. But for this week, let's talk about the patch notes for the big NEXUS update. We've introduced Ranked Play. While our ranked system is fairly simple for now, we will be continuing to iterate on it in future patches to deliver the best experience possible. Weapons were in need of unique personalities. We've introduced passive abilities and spray patterns for each weapon. We've also introduced a new weapon. So let's dive in. Healing gun users healing allied players give those players a 10% bonus to dealing damage for 2 seconds. And it also heals themselves for 10% of the healing done. Healing gun users who damage an enemy applies a 10% penalty to their ability to deal damage for 2 seconds. The healing gun was a little hard to use effectively, mostly because your allies often moved like they didn't want to be healed. We've changed the healing gun to now have a lock-on healing beam, which you activate with your primary fire button. This grants healing and a small damage buff to the target ally. In place of your ability to aim down the sights with the healing gun, the alternate fire now channels a harmful beam that deals a small amount of damage and debuffs enemies. Laser gun users deal quantum damage instead of material damage, and gain a 5% bonus to weapon damage per second as long as the weapon is fired continuously. The laser gun didn't have a clear purpose as a weapon, so we're moving it into its own niche. It now shoots a consistent beam while held, dealing damage to enemies caught inside. In addition, it's our first venting weapon. When not in use, the laser constantly vents, effectively reloading the weapon passively. Grenade launcher users deal a 10% slow penalty to enemies' movement speeds per hit, and also cause them to take an additional 3.33% damage for 3 seconds. This effect stacks up to 3 times. The grenade launcher was intended to be a support artillery weapon, but that role is being eclipsed by its incredible farming potential. We've reduced the damage against minions and monsters by 30%, as well as a small reduction to the grenade explosion area of effect. To compensate for these reductions, we've replaced its ability to aim down the sights with a back shot. And this alternate firing ability consumes double the ammo for double the damage, and double the area of effect, and double the passive ability effects. Sounds like double the fun to me. Sniper users who are above 70% health gain a bonus of 15 material power and a bonus of 15 quantum power. Users who damage enemies who are at least 16 meters or more further away deal an additional 20% bonus weapon damage per hit. LMG users gain a 1% faster fire rate bonus and a 1% faster reload speed for every hit landed on an enemy or an enemy structure, stacking for up to 30 times. Players who stop dealing damage for 5 seconds lose 6 stacks of these bonuses per second until no stacks remain or the player starts dealing damage again. Pulse rifle users are granted 1 stack of Fury up to maximum of 15 stacks per each hit on an enemy or enemy structure. Each stack of Fury grants an additional 1% chance to land a critical hit on an enemy. Last but not least, the new weapon, the Pump Shotgun. The standard shotgun makes a great tank weapon with its consistent scattershot damage, but we also wanted to explore a DPS approach to getting up close and personal. The Pump Shotgun opens up new assassin playstyles with its high damage but low rate of fire, and to try and balance that approach, we've replaced the regular zoom function of aiming down the sights of the shotgun with a short-range dash to close the gap instead. The player's passive abilities allow the players to move towards an enemy with an additional 15% movement speed. Players deal 10% more damage against enemies who have less than 40% health. We want to promote thoughtful gunplay and a high skill ceiling for using the guns, and to help do that, we've decided to introduce spray patterns. For Nexus, spray pattern means that the recoil you experienced when firing a weapon is fixed for a set number of bullets, meaning you can learn to control the recoil for better accuracy. Once you've reached the end of the pattern, you'll experience random recoil, so firing in targeted bursts is key. Each weapon has its own unique spray pattern in terms of both shape and length, so make sure you pay attention. We have a number of different ways to apply status effects to enemies, but in some cases we were applying similar effects that did or didn't interact based on details in our implementation of them. That resulted in some interactions feeling much less intuitive than we wanted them to be. To address this, we've started unifying some common status effects and gameplay into new effects. To start with, we've introduced Poison, Ablaze, and Frostbite. Ablaze is our fire status effect. It reduces 0.6% of a target's maximum health as ability damage each second for 5 seconds and stacks up to 10 times. Damage against non-player targets is capped at 8 damage per second. Ablaze is applied by incendiary rounds and a fire grenade. Frostbite is our ice status effect. It reduces movement speed by 15% and increases damage taken by 2% for 5 seconds and stacks up to 10 times. Frostbite is applied by the frost grenade on impact and by the freezing ground it creates. Poison is our toxic status effect. It deals 8 damage per second and reduces healing received by 35%. This effect lasts for 1 second per stack up to maximum of 14 stacks. But unlike the other effects, only the duration increases with stacks of poison. Poison is applied by the toxic grenade on impact and by the toxic ground it creates. Additionally, we added some other quality of life improvements to Nexus in this update. Here's a list of those items. We introduced a new melee animation to make it more obvious when a player is using the melee attack. We introduced a new concept where players are considered in combat if they have dealt or received damage in the last 5 seconds. This is used for some gun passives, and you cannot sprint while you are in combat. We increased the cooldown on melee attacks to 1.25 seconds. We added 1 second charge up to sprinting before it takes effect, so it's not so easy to escape combat. We added a half a second root when taking damage while sprinting to encourage more tactical use. We introduced a limit of 6 items for players to help balance longer matches. We rebalanced the gold income across the board and made adjustments to the purchase prices for weapons, items, and abilities. We adjusted the bounty system on players who were on a kill or death streak and added an indicator to the scoreboard so you can see how high a player bounty is. We reduced bullet spread on weapons while jumping. And we added improvements to all weapon visual effects. Lots of people are talking about playable games. The downside of building through the bear market is being largely unknown. Recently, this has started to change as more and more people in the know are finding out about playable games. We appreciate the love. Here are a few clips from this week.
So you can buy a node that gives off bull tokens every day. I have 3 of these. The price goes up after a certain number are sold. It's currently $6,600 to buy a node. And currently that's returning about $134 a month.
I do think that, these projects, are they going to be the next $30 billion project? I don't know. There are plenty of family-owned businesses before in the past that have done phenomenal. In fact, a lot of the ones back then were definitely family-owned. So I really am bullish on what Playable Games is going to be doing in the future. DCA points, I don't think we're there just yet. And, I would probably wait until like the 2.5 range to the 2.7 range before I would consider accumulating more playable. But we're starting to get to those points where I'm like, I like nodes and I like accumulating them.
Quiet but deadly, they have hit 125,000 downloads for their flagship game with around 5,000 daily active players, as we see the stats here, with the average play time of over an hour. So pretty impressive stats across the board.
Thank you from all of us for sharing Playable Games with the global community. Don't forget to check out our NFT marketplace where you can buy new or used NFTs. It's your choice. Become a collector before it's too late. Join the conversation below. Let us know why you're bullish in the comments. For 24-hour coverage on all things Playable Games, head over to our Discord channel and say hi. Whether you have questions about node ownership, trading Bullcoin, Nexus, or pretty much anything, know that there's a company and a community ready and eager to help. Remember to represent your favorite gaming studio by acquiring merch at playablegames.store. We've got hats, hoodies, shirts, and more. You can trade Bullcoin on BitGet, MetaMask, Trader Joe, and a variety of other exchanges worldwide. CoinGecko currently shows the price point at 0.003 or 0.3 of a penny. The market cap is currently $30 million. Congratulations to last week's HODL competition winners. Each week, we are giving away 3 million Bullcoin to 115 random winners. If you want to get involved, head to our dashboard app and check out the Events tab. There are over 1.8 billion Bullcoins staked in the HODL competition. That's over 18% of the total circulating supply that's locked up on our dashboard across 16,992 NFT HODL tickets. Congratulations to the 115 lucky node owners who won the Node HODL competition. We give out 3 million Bullcoins to 115 random node owners every week. We have now sold 6,548 nodes of the total 50,000 nodes available. Current price for a node is $6,600. There are 52 nodes left at the current price. Nodes are currently creating 1,046 Bullcoins per day. I hope you all learned something this week during our recap, and if you did, please hit the like button to tell the algorithm to share it with other viewers. Subscribe for more Playable Games content, and hit that bell for notifications. Thanks for watching. I'm Bruno, aka Invincible, and I'll see you all again next week.